What's up, guys? This is Jared from JaredSpakFitness.com, and today I want to start a video series on the top 5 ways you may be sabotaging your weight loss goals. The first one I want to touch on today is understanding the whole picture. Today I want to focus on metabolism, what it is, and the different ways you can go about optimizing and increasing the amount of calories you burn on a day-to-day basis. So, first of all, what is metabolism? I'm sure you've talked about it, or you've had conversations with other people and they talked about it, whether it's an issue for them in terms of, oh, my metabolism is slow, I have the hardest time like losing weight, or maybe somebody on the other side of the equation who is naturally lean and they complain that their metabolism is too fast because they're trying to put on weight. Either way, today I'm going to go into the 4 key components that make up our metabolism. Metabolism can simply be defined as the amount of energy required to build up and break down our body. And there's 4 key components. So the first one I want to touch on is your RMR, or resting metabolic rate. Your resting metabolic rate is simply the amount of energy your body needs to basically keep you alive. So if you were to wake up, lay in bed all day, not move, and just binge on your favorite Netflix series all day, that requires energy. And that amount of energy that your body needs is your resting metabolic rate. Your RMR is determined on several factors. It could be age and genetics have a big role to play, but it also has to do with the amount of lean muscle tissue you have on your body and also your body composition, so your fat to muscle ratio. So ways of increasing your RMR would be to get leaner, but also focus your workouts on building lean muscle mass. So resistance training, not cardio training, which I'm going to touch on in a later video, but the key is to focus on building up lean muscle tissue. So your RMR is actually the biggest piece of the pie here. Your RMR accounts for about 60 to 75% of your body needs. So that's a huge chunk of the pie. But there's still other components here that we can work on that will increase our metabolism. So number 1, resting metabolic rate. Number 2, second component is your TEF, or your thermic effect of feeding or food. And this is simply, if you've ever eaten a large meal and you've felt yourself getting warm or even maybe starting to sweat, that is related to the thermic effect of feeding. When we eat, our bodies require energy to digest and break down that food that we just consumed. So this expends calories. So this is another reason why what you put in your body matters. It's going to take more energy to digest and absorb a whole food meal, such as a potato, than it will a candy bar. And it requires more energy for your body to break down protein than it does carbs and fat. So say you eat a piece of meat that contains 100 calories. For protein, about 20 to 30% of those calories are going to be burned by your energy in just the digestion and absorption process. So you consume 100, but really, after the assimilation process, your body only receives 70 to 80 of those calories. And it's lower for fat and carb. Carbs are 5 to 6% and fat is about 3%. So that is the thermic effect of feeding. So we go back to our pie chart. The thermic effect of feeding can count for as much as 10% of your daily required energy needs. And again, that depends on how much you eat and the quality of foods you consume. So, moving on to number 3. Number 3, we have physical activity. But as I said at the beginning of this video, there are 4 components. So physical activity is actually broken down into, we'll go 3A, exercise, and 3B, non-exercise related activities. So first, we'll touch on exercise, which is any purposeful workout session you have, whether it's running, swimming, weight training, boot camp class, any purposeful exercise activity. And of course, the effect that this has on your metabolism in terms of during the workout, post-workout, and even long-term cumulative effects depends on the type of training you're doing. And any form of resistance training where you're focusing on building lean muscle tissue and getting stronger. Stronger doesn't necessarily mean putting on more weight to the bar or machine or whatever, which I'll touch on in a later video. So the effect any purposeful exercise is going to have on your metabolism is going to depend on the activity you choose, the intensity you perform that activity at, and the duration you perform that activity at. So the second component of physical activity, which is the non-exercise activity thermogenesis, also referred to as NEAT, is any type of physical activity outside of purposeful exercise. So whether that's cooking, cleaning, walking around the house, walking around the office, playing with your kids, anything that requires additional movement and activity. Running errands is another good example of this. So all in all, physical activity can account for between 15 to 30% of your total energy needs. So just to summarize, you are not doomed if you did not win the metabolic genetic lottery. There are many, many ways you can work on improving your metabolism. You can improve your RMR by focusing on muscle building activities. You can increase your TEF by focusing on consuming high quality whole foods. You can increase your physical activity by working on the appropriate type of exercise that enhances metabolism. And you can also increase your non-exercise activity, whether it's simply parking further away from work. If you work in an office, make sure you get up every 30 to 60 minutes and walk around. There's many, many ways you can increase your non-exercise activity. Take a trip up the stairs every hour at your, if you have a desk job, if you're a cubicle worker like I am. You may have to work harder than people that are just naturally lean, but that's kind of the hand that we've all been dealt. And now you're equipped with the tools in order to increase your metabolism and make your body more of a fat burning machine. So guys, thank you for listening and staying through this whole video. I'm really start focusing on putting out videos that do a lot more teaching, equipping you guys with the tools you need in order to achieve any type of body transformation goal you're looking to get. Also, I'm going to drop a link down below that'll link to the blog post that I wrote on this also. If you want to read it, maybe if you learn better by reading something than by watching a video, or both, as I know I do. And I'd really appreciate it if you guys subscribe. I'm going to put a lot of effort into these videos, and just thank you for watching.